guys, welcome to the Real Life Everything podcast. We're your hosts, Ebony Westwood
and Kristen Noelle.
Here on the RLE Pod, we dive into the real, relatable, and raw topics as we navigate adulthood and real life, our dreams.
Our mission is to support women by encouraging authenticity, self-awareness, and celebrating all our real life wins in sisterhood along the way.
What are you real life in today, Chris?
I'm real lifing everything. Let's get into it.
Hey everybody, I'm Ebony Westwood.
And I'm Kristen Noelle.
And this is the Real Life Everything Pod.
Welcome.
Welcome. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited too, girl.
This is our first episode.
Yes,
and
it is.
We're going to get into what Real Life Everything, which some of you will hear us referred as RLE, what it means to us, why we're here tonight.
Yes. So, Ebony, RLE was your baby, real life everything. So what exactly does it mean to you?
Yeah. So I've shared this time and time again with my community. When I hear the words real life everything, it is my mantra that I live by. I live, I eat, I breathe this mantra day in and day out. And so for me, when I hear it, I think about just imagining the man or woman that you want to become in real life in her every single day. Mm-hmm. So whether it's something both personal and professional, for me, it's more of a personal, it creates a personal impact in my life. I think about the woman that I want to become. I think about the sister, the mother, the friend. I think about all those things that I want to become personally, and then I go after it and I real life it, whatever that looks like, whatever it takes to get it done.
I know
that's
right.
It.
Yes.
What about you?
That's beautiful. So for me, real lifing everything is really about having a vision and bringing it to life. Yeah. And I feel like when you have a calling and when you have a purpose, it's just something that's inside of you that you can't ignore. Mm-hmm. And real lifing it is about following that purpose or that calling and making it happen for real. It's just like doing what you need to do and birthing something from scratch. Real lifing it.
That's good. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's why we're so aligned with starting this pod here and having real relevant, deeper conversations around what real life everything looks like to us and the rest of our community, because we're just aligned with the intentions that goes behind just the purpose, and again echoing that mantra day in and day out, like we're aligned with that.
Right.
So that's really, really good.
Whether it is a career aspiration, business, motherhood, or just a personality trait, a character trait that you want to embody and making it happen, being that woman, being that girl. Yeah. Another thing for me is like, I spend so much time online. I don't know about you, but I'm always online. I'm always either on social or having to look up stuff from clients, and like it's easy to get wrapped up in like the whole online world, social media world. So I think another part to real lifing everything is just to be more focused and present in what's actually going on in your real life. Yeah. And not spending, 12 hours a day on the attached to socials, and worried about what everybody else got going on.
Yeah. Yeah. Just following through what you just said here. I agree with that. I use social media for the same purpose. I use it for business. I use it for client projects, but I also use it for my own personal good too. Mm-hmm. So, like on Instagram, for example, nowadays you can like save, you have like so many different profiles that you can just save different, like
bookmark, save it.
Yeah.
Put it in a folder.
I have hundreds of them on my Instagram account. And some are called travel, some are called like home inspo, some are called just affirmations, fashion, my wardrobe. But again, I'm looking at those things not just from a client point of view, but for my own personal point of view. Like how does this relate to me? And how do I internally want to work on this to real life that thing through just my own life, not just through client projects and not just through, the organic relationships that I meet with people or I have with people, but again, just for my own internal use.
Right. So it's like a life mood board.
It is a life mood board. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that.
A real life mood board.
It's a life mood board. So like, I don't know. I guess we can like talk about some of the things that we've recently real life. So for me, for example, like I would take one of those mood boards, like a travel one, for example, just for this year. Like I have just a few different trips on this travel mood board on my Instagram page that I most certainly want to real life it. And just some of those action steps, whether it be to research the flights or, you know, to note when you actually want to take the trip, or, you know, just the intentionality that goes behind manifesting that thing. That is something that, again, I personally enjoy, and I hold myself accountable to that. Outside of travel, I'm a mom, you know, so whether it's mom content that I come across, or it could be something offline that I'm reading, or that I just come across on my day-to-day, you know, walk through, whether it's at the mall or just in conversation with people. I just like to take, like, pretty much note those things and then see how do I relate to it and how I can make that thing happen in real life.
Right. So it's like taking inspiration and putting that intention behind it in that action.
Yes.
So you're not just seeing something and being like, oh, that's dope, I'm inspired, but you're actually making it your own and making it for real.
Yeah. There's a lot of people who want to real life things, but they don't, because they don't know where to start, you know? And I think that's the beauty in us having this conversation and starting this pod, is that we get to talk about some of our own personal experiences, our professional experiences, but just how we took the action steps behind something that we saw and that we were inspired by, and we real lifed it. So just kind of, I guess, switching topic a little bit. Why are we starting this pod? Like, who is it for? So I'll let you start. Right.
So who is it for? So I think that the RLE fam, the squad, is going to be full of empowering women who want more out of life, right? Who just, they want to achieve something, or they want to grow as women, and they want to be popping, you know, like one of the things that we said is we outside and we worldwide.
And we worldwide, baby.
So we out here with a mission. We out here with a purpose. We out here with a plan. So I think this podcast is going to be more than just a podcast. It's going to be a community
for sure,
for other go-getters, for other elevated women, to really hear and listen, like, how are women like us going out and making stuff happen? Even if we don't have a blueprint, or if we don't have other people in our immediate surroundings who we can turn to for the answers, we can turn to each other. And we can have that space, that safe space for us to lean into and feel like we're not alone out here on this journey.
I think we should dig a little deeper though, Chris.
Let's.
So I think this podcast, for me, starting it, is really for my mamas. Like, not just my mamas, but my mamas. I know for Chris, corporate baddies. Like, Chris is
entrepreneur, corporate baddies. Right.
Yeah. So just taking some of what you shared here. And like you said, we're building this community where we can truly, like, tap into those corporate baddies, those entrepreneur baddies, those mama baddies, and let's talk about real life shit. Keep it plain and simple for you, you know, and building that safe space, that community, right? Because one thing that we both value equally is community, and being able to have a tribe, call each other, you know, as a part of our tribe, and call others, or have others as a part of our tribe. And it's very important. That has been so beneficial in our lives, and helped us become the woman that we are today, which is how we're here. We didn't get here by ourselves. You know, it took a whole squad behind us. So I think just digging deeper and letting you guys know that a part of our reason for starting this pod and beginning this community is for a woman who is looking for her tribe, a woman is looking for her community. And you can be a mom, you can be a CEO, you can be a corporate baddie. It doesn't matter what your background looks like. It's really about that woman who desires that community, a woman who desires authenticity, a woman who wants resources, who needs resources to elevate in her life, both personally and professionally. It's really about you and what you need, you know, and that's why we're here to just really pretty much present this for you in the most authentic form, and to create a safe space where they could come and have a seat with us on the couch and talk about all things, everything. So
that was beautifully said.
Yeah,
it was
nice. Yeah, so that's why we're here. And just digging a little deeper on the mama side, I'm a mom of an 11-year-old, so I have 11 years in the game, obviously. And there was a time in my life where I felt, I don't want to use the word trap because sometimes I can come off negative, but I felt like I was living in a box. I felt like my resources were, I could only count on one hand how many or how much resources I had to be a mom, but also to be, to create harmony in my work life or just becoming a CEO.
Right.
And again, going back to that imagination piece, like you're always visualizing the woman you want to become. But it's like, how can I become her if I'm a single mom and my resources are limited? And, like even if it's the silliest thing, if I want to just go and, what is it? I don't want to say bungee jump off of an airplane.
Oh, when
skydiving.
You skydive.
Yeah, skydiving. Yeah, if I want to do skydiving, like it could be the simplest thing I want to do as a mom. But sometimes when you become a parent, mother or father, but as a woman who's a mom, when you become a mom, you feel like, you are no longer the priority, but your child or your children, your family is. And sometimes you begin to feel like life is like slipping right up under the palm of your hand. And so, just to bring it to my point, I really want to be able to create this space. My intention is to create this space to just have real conversations with our mothers, but to also be able to talk about like life experiences and hopefully add value to you ladies' lives and to be able to be very resourceful to you. So that's my experience.
And I think for you, just knowing you, Ebony, your journey, one of the things that you have blossomed into is being able to be an amazing mom to your daughter, while also creating your life, while also building the life that you want to live, so that you're not simply just living for one person only. You're not giving your whole entire being to just motherhood, but you're still remembering who Ebony is. And you're able to balance both. And I think that's an important one, because that's something that I want to do. I would love to be a mom one day as well. And I just can see myself pouring so much into my child and becoming so selfless, and I had a great mom myself who was completely selfless. And I'm just like, wow, when I do have a family, am I just going to, forget everything, forget my dreams? So I want to just make sure that I can have that balance of family, my romantic relationship, my career as a businesswoman, and just my friendships. And I think that's another thing that we want to embody and for this podcast to be about is like harmony between all of the most important elements of your life.
For sure. I want you to talk a little bit about, because I know Kristen personally, obviously. But I would love for you to share a little bit about creating that harmony coming out of the corporate world and into full-time CEO and how you were able to real life that, and, anything that you want to share with, again, those corporate baddies who want to transition.
So I am a business owner. I have a digital marketing agency. And I do this full-time now, but it wasn't always the case. I definitely had my on and off moments of having a business or working full time and having my business on the side and freelancing. And that transition was definitely not easy. I'm still in the midst of, embodying a full-time business ownership lifestyle. But just kind of to answer your question, like, how was that harmony? It was not easy. I knew that I wanted to own a digital marketing agency for like 8 years now. And I'm still learning, still learning. So it wasn't something that just happened overnight. It wasn't something that I just decided to do and boom, I was successful. Like, I knew I started it about 8 years ago, and I'm still here, still figuring it out, still building. So it took a lot of trial and error. It took a lot of like different jobs that I had where I was not the happiest at those jobs, but I was still trying to figure out, how do I make this work? So slowly building, brick by brick, one brick at a time, like Nipsey used to say. And so, that's how I really was able to just bring that vision, to life. Slowly, year by year, working on it and not really giving up the vision.
Another thing I really value about you, Chris, is that you have patience to real life, the life that you have today, and the life that you also, you dream of. You call it your dream life. You say you're designed. What did you say?
Dream lifestyle design. That's like the term that I use. to be intentional about the kind of lifestyle that you want to live.
Yes.
So it's really building your dream life, your ideal lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I love that. Really, really love that. And share with you multiple times, just how I truly value just this patient path that you created. You know, like you have a lot of patience with just reaching the stars pretty much with the life and with your business and everything. So I truly value that about you.
Thank you.
Absolutely, girl. I think we should also switch gears and tell the people how we met.
Yes.
Woo, you go first.
Because I love how we met. So
I love your story on how we met.
I really reached out to you, like slid in your inbox. And okay, so Ebony also has a business. Do y'all want to tell them a little bit about the stylist, Fifth and Westwood, just for that background?
Yeah, really quick. So again, I, Ebony Westwood, am the founder of a go-to styling agency called Fifth and Westwood. Now we are a full-time consulting agency, but before we were formerly known as an image consulting agency. So pretty much we focus on providing styling services, personal shopping services for our, entrepreneurs and busy professionals. And so having to promote that service, probably about 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was like 2 years ago now.
Yeah. Another local styling agency here in the DMV area reached out to me, and she wanted to feature us in like her March Women's magazine.
It was like a business directory for Women's Month, for International Women's Month.
Super dope.
Literally this month, 2 years ago.
Yeah, this month,
March.
Oh my
yes.
gosh. That's how you know, like, this is so good.
I know, because it really is like our 2-year anniversary.
It is our 2-year anniversary. We need to cheers to that.
I know. And so when the directory came out, like, I was part of the directory, and I was just getting my business back off the ground. And so I was like, I'm going to find, who in this directory looks dope. Yeah. And Ebony's business stood out to me. Fifth and Westwood stood out. So I kind of just slid in her inbox, and I was like, girl, your brand looks dope.
Thank you.
Like, I can't remember exactly what I said, but it was just like,
but you slid.
I want to get on the phone.
Right.
Like, girl, you want to get on the call?
Yeah.
And from there was history. Like, you started off being a client, and then we just became friends. And it was really just your energy, that first time we met in person at that coffee shop, your energy, like, we talked for hours.
We did.
And I just love when something like that can turn into a friendship, because it's definitely harder to make friends later in life. We were pushing 30 at the time. So for that, it was just like, wow, like, this actually became it started as a business relationship, but then it really turned into my new lifelong friend.
Yeah. Wow. I'm in a chokehold. You said it's harder to build those relationships later in life,
like
as we get older, the genuine ones. Because oftentimes we hold on to the friendships that we've had since childhood. That's my best friend 10 plus years or 15, 20 plus years. And that's good. Don't get me wrong, because I have those women in my life as well, those friendships in my life as well. But I also relate to what you just said. As you get older, it becomes almost fearful. It's like,
because people are kind of set in their own bubbles, their
own ways. I got my girl group.
Exactly.
I don't, no new friends, as Drake would say, so it's like, you do feel like kind of on edge about building new friendships. I think because I'm such a people's person, I don't know, I can't really speak for that time. I mean, now I know I'm way like, I have, I don't know, like a checklist of how I go about making new friendships now. But before, I was new to the area. So I think that, just me being a people's person, being new to the area, when you slid in my inbox, I was like, yeah, let's get it. Conversation was great over the phone during our consultation and everything. And just from your pitch and just having an organic conversation with you, I knew I wanted to work with you. Like, I heard and saw what you were doing for your clients, and I was like, I want to be that girl, and I want to be a part of that client list. But since then, like, we've just kept in touch organically. And it's funny because we just literally slid in our group chat from 2 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, y'all, can y'all believe it was 2 years ago?
With Alex, with my
assistant. Yeah. Yeah, we slid in that chat because we do have Alex who works with us on the RLE Pod. Yes. And we slid back in that chat, and I looked at the date and I was like, wow.
It was 2 years.
It was 2 years ago. Yes. Like, we've been here 2 years strong. That's
and
a
so
lot.
When we were starting to talk about creating this podcast, it really happened so organically. Like, we were co-working a couple of days, and Ebony brought this idea to me. Girl, you had that presentation.
Wait. Back it up a little bit real fast. Because, we like to keep it real, raw, and relevant here. So, literally, when I reached out to Chris, I was like, hey, what do you think about doing these co-working sessions on Fridays? I used to put it in our calendar called Fuck It Fridays.
Yep.
And so I would bring...
And she came through with the tequila. Okay.
I came through with the tequila. I made sure we had Dunkin' Donuts on deck.
She did.
We was just having like our co-working session. We were just, you know what I'm saying? We were doing our
own. We need to bring that back for real.
We do. Because that,
back.
Okay. Tequila on a Friday morning. Let's do it. So yeah, it started off as like Fuck It Fridays, just a co-working session. Then I was talking to my assistant, Alex, and I was like, Alex, I'm transitioning, and just a quick backstory. Again, coming from being a full consultant at a styling agency for 10, 15 plus years, and now I'm a mom, and I have so many other desires in life that I want a real life, and I'm transitioning. I feel like I'm internally transitioning. I feel like I've already internally transitioned, but externally, I was just like forcing myself to show up as a consultant, forcing myself to provide the services, praying my way through it most times. But internally, I just was not, I didn't feel full. You know what I mean? I didn't feel complete. And so
we're going to get into that for sure.
We're going to get into that, baby. So I presented it to my assistant first, and I was like, Alex, I really want to get started with RLE. I really want to do a podcast. I want to just have real conversations with real people. And however, I want to do this with someone. I don't want to do this by myself because I've been running my company by myself for about 10 years. And that is a heavy load to run a brand by yourself, to be the CEO, to be the head charge of the payroll, to make sure all the meetings are on the books. We can hire and fire all day long. But at the end of the day, if we don't have someone duplicating us and doing exactly what we need them to do, like we would do it, we're still literally employees of our business.
Yeah, you're stuck. You're chained to your business. And that's not really why you started it in the first place.
No, I'm an investor, baby. Okay, for anybody who don't know, I'm a cash flow girl. I'm an investor. So I knew that internally I had transitioned into more of the investor side of my business, but I wasn't quite ready for that yet. And something else needed to happen. So I chopped it up with Alex and I was like, listen, I can't do this by myself. She was like, well, what about Chris? I was like, I don't know. Chris got her own thing going on. I don't think Chris got time for this. I'm such a dreamer. I was like, Chris is like, she pen and paper, baby.
What's on the calendar? Like,
what are we doing here? And I'm like, I'm such a dreamer. I don't think this is going to work. And so I was so nervous to present that idea to you, but I'm so glad I did because we're here and we're doing it.
And like, you showed me a whole presentation.
I did.
And it was like, oh my gosh, every slide was so on point. I was like, wow, this is very similar to something that I wanted to bring to fruition for the last few years. And for me, it was called like lifestyle design. Like that's just the idea I was sitting on. So it's so closely aligned with real life everything because the idea is the same. And so it was perfect because I knew that I was sitting on that desire. I was sitting on this wish to start a community for women who want to do dope shit in life. But I knew I couldn't bring that to life on my own, especially building a business and still in the midst of like focusing on that full time. So it was just something that I couldn't do both, starting it by myself. So when you brought it to me, I was just like, like,
it was one of those moments.
This is really the dream. It's definitely a dream that we're really working hard to real life.
We're doing it.
I'm so happy to be doing it with you, Eb.
I'm happy to be doing it with you. So I'm happy I got your yes, and I'm happy that we stayed consistent with it. Our F It Fridays then turned into RLE Fridays. And overnight, our dream team just formed right in front of us. And we were able to just really dig deep within our own communities. And first we had Adriana on board, which I cannot wait for y'all to meet.
Our team, our squad.
My gosh, we're like, they're so dope. Yeah, first it started with Adriana. Of course, Alex was on board. And then I think from there was Autumn and
Raven.
Ray. Is that all of us?
I think so.
I think so. We feel like a 20 deep squad.
Right. And then we also have our media team.
Yes. Literally, that happened overnight.
Yes,
you know. So,
exactly.
and I think that's what happens when you're walking in your purpose, when you're walking in with intentionality, when you're taking action steps to actually real life that thing that you want to real life. Like when you're walking in your purpose, the higher power, he or she he brings it all together for you.
Exactly. I always say you have to meet God halfway.
Yes.
You know, like you
do.
put in the work and consistency, but then you just trust God to meet you halfway, or you trust the universe, whatever you might believe in. All you got to do is show up halfway and then surrender the rest.
I cannot wait to get into
We're going to get into it. Okay, so let's wrap up so we can just tell everybody what to expect from us.
Yeah.
And we'll get into our next episode where we're really going to dive into everything.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so what can everybody expect from us if they are subscribers of Real Life Everything?
Yeah, so for sure, follow us on our new page called Real Life Everything, and the Real Life Pod. We'll be sharing that in our contacts below, so you'll be able to check that information out. Make sure you tap and follow. Also expect weekly conversations. Again, we're talking about real, relevant, and raw topics. That's it. Period. You know? And we'll be sharing these discussions not just between Chris and I, but we'll also be sharing this with other men and women within our community. So please expect that.
Yes. So just stay tuned for the conversation. We are here to be a vessel of like, how do you bring your dreams to life? Yeah. And the real life topics that might just be about like building your confidence, you know, stepping out on faith, or how to follow your calling. Yes. Talking about spirituality and faith, also talking about money, mindset, you know, and just building all of those character traits that you need to become the woman of your dreams.
Absolutely.
So thanks, y'all.
We
made it to episode 1. Thanks, Eb. I'm so excited.
You. Me too.
Thank you guys so much for tuning into another episode of the Real Life Everything podcast.
Yes, make sure you use our hashtags on social media, the RLE Pod and Real Life Everything.
And don't forget to follow us on all platforms. We're on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at the RLE Pod.